So hopefully this will help you out. This is a progression of try to activate and strengthen the glutes and channeling through the core. So good way to do this. I don't know how well you can see this in the frame. That doesn't look like very well. Back it up some here. All right, so I've got my foot on a step stool. I would prefer stairs here. I just don't have access to them currently. So I just wanted to recognize that you could use staircase here if you need to, especially if you need upper body support, or put your step stool close to a wall or a counter or something that you can hold on to. So the whole point of this is to be able to drive into this hip here without completely overloading it. So I don't want to have to worry about balance or stability or all that. I've got most of my weight in this leg. So I'm kind of steering like through the pelvis and chest, pulling back into that glute. I'm going to be driving here and kind of connecting there, and then I want to be able to kind of rock and pulse through that gluteus maximus down, back through the hip and down through the heel. Keep that tension, and then especially if you have a bad knee, and maybe that's why one of the reasons why you're working on that hip, or maybe you've been overloading the knee, and that's why that's in bad shape. But you got to get back in that hip, and if it really doesn't connect for you or work, or maybe you have a back issue and that's causing that not to fire very well, but you want to be able to feel that tension, butt to heel, keep your chest engaged, core engaged, bowing forward, hinging at the hip, and then kind of like a woodpecker motion here, but keep that tension pressure back and down through butt and heel, and just pulse that. And you should feel those muscles kind of contract, or that big muscle back there contract, kind of pulse it. And that's a good starting point for that motion, just to get that woken up and get kind of connected there. Do it on the other side. Say whichever side is, one side's probably weaker or stronger, so whichever one's weaker obviously needs to get a little more, but you want to have that core control, keep channeling back down through butt and heel, right there. Now, you can progress this by doing it on the wall, woodpecker, keep driving back down butt heel, keep that core engaged, keep that trunk straight, neutral, and really isolate that little bit of a pulse through that buttock. And then you could progress it further to more of like whole body. You can let the knee move a little bit if it's not too painful, but keep tension there, that little spiral. And then you can do it into something more dynamic, like a lunge walk, kind of sink down, lift up. Make sure you're really pulling back, activating that glute, lifting, driving through that hip, like so, okay? And so that's a good way to kind of get into that. You can add weights too, if you're like lowering, lifting the weight, channeling that also through your buttock in that kind of woodpecker out in the open, kind of maybe using a hand for support on something if you need it for balance, but that's one way you can kind of progress that as well. But hopefully that will help get things in gear, get you using the glutes better on both sides, so that you're not overloading your knee or your back or anything else, because it is a very important muscle. It's the workhorse. So that's what you want to keep channeling things to as much as possible, to offload those other things.